Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we should be good. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully we're doing well. It is Thursday. Slow week, but we are getting through the week nonetheless, and Friday tomorrow. So looking forward to potentially closing the week on a high note. So I've only really taken a couple trades this week, nothing too crazy. Didn't take anything. Oh, I did take one trade yesterday, one losing trade yesterday, $500. Just one single trade in terms of my average win to loss. So whatever my average on my ATMs are, which is about 50, with obviously 5 micros, $500 loss. So, but I'll break down yesterday's trades, and there was a traditional out of the RTH low, which we'll break down. In fact, we'll do that now, and then we'll just look at where we've come from. But going back to yesterday in terms of the full session, now I only traded for, I think, 2 hours because I went out for some food in the evening. So if I just put this onto London time, I signed off at about 4:30 because I had a meal at about 5:30. So I didn't trade any of this action here. And what I did say is once we got into where we were trading at about, let me go back to, I can't do my own time, which is bizarre. Once we got into around that 10 area, we were inside that kind of stuck in between overnight and RTH midpoint. So I said on stream, there was no edge to be had either way, in my opinion. Now, I marked out the levels, and you can obviously see the RTH ATR is what got traded. And you can see that because the high came all the way down, as you can see. So we came down, and what's interesting is once we came down there, we actually traded a double red diamond setup, which basically just means potentially this is the bottom and we are going to get a reversal. And once that happened, again, I wasn't at the screen. I did alert this in the room that we traded the RTH low of day. Sorry, 1 second. But I wasn't at the screen to take the trade. But you will notice the cleanest trades are those that don't break the 62. And you can see we had a low, we had a high, we came down to the 50 and instantly bid. 55 points. This would have been an ATR reversal up. I just haven't got my ATR on, my ATR highlighter indicator on. It's on another screen. But that was an ATR up. Completed straight away into that negative 62. And if we just put the replay on, just so you can see, and I'll pause it. So we completed the full negative 100 into the overnight session. But interestingly enough, you can just see by that 50 into the 62, that was 62 points, which is nice to see that 62 point held. And then you obviously completed the full negative 100. Now, going into just before the newsprint, I just want to mark out some levels for you. And we'll just watch this for a second. So you'll notice once we completed that full negative 100, we ended up trading what was, and again, I alerted this in the room this morning, that would have been the high to high. And that also traded on a green diamond, 2 green diamonds. And we had that confirmation and it did complete. So really nice to see that. Going into the CPI print, I'm just going to take, I'll leave that on for a second. I had full traditional marked on my screen, and I just want to show you the reaction on that. So you can see here that full traditional was basically just from what was yesterday's. So you see the bid there at the halfway back. You had double red diamond, which is again showing potential bottom, and then you've obviously got that green diamond confirmation in terms of long pullbacks potentially are valid. Now, if we just go to the other time frames, you'll be able to see this is the 5-minute time frame, and you can see we had that bid. And the reason I've got this on my screen is because this was the overnight trend line at 8:30s, and you can see on that newsprint, I think it was it CPI? I'm not too sure what was it, CPI? Employment data. Once we had that newsprint, I didn't trade any of this. I rarely trade the news, but once we did have that newsprint, you notice how we closed above the 50. Even though we traded it, we actually did close above the 50. So interesting to keep that on my screen. And then just looking at those other time frames in terms of for the ATRs for the week, you can kind of see where we are. We do still have 400 points left on the week to have. So we've got today and tomorrow for those to trade. If they are going to trade, you know where those highs and lows are. We've been gravitating up, so the weekly high is still intact, and that weekly high is 24,455s. And of course, to the downside, you can see that on the screen at 23,230. So those will be the ATR ranges for the week. We do have, as I just mentioned, we had the red diamond potential bottom, and we have had potential pullbacks that are going to remain valid until broken. So that is your half an hour. And then on the hourly time frame, I have two potential levels that I'm going to look for going into today's session. And in all fairness, I don't mind waiting to see if we can actually just break and hold above kind of where we are now. It just happens to be where we currently are trading, but that would be pretty much these highs from back here. So if we can hold above, in fact, I'm just going to increase this to around this level here. If we can pretty much hold above where we are now, I don't know where that coincides with previous day highs. If I just put this on here, you can see we've got Tuesdays and, is that right? Yeah, Monday, Tuesdays, and even Friday. So you've got a lot of balance / value from a volume profile point of view in this area. So if you can start to hold these levels and actually break and retest, I think those weekly completions above will get traded. And if, for example, these end up breaking, I think retests will take you down into those ATR lows. But I want to remain bullish, but the only problem I have is 2-day has... Yeah, I think we are. Let's just check. Yeah, I mean, we are bullish on the daily, so I think I will be fine trading longs. We're pretty much there on the 2-day, so I think most likely we'll be fine, at least in terms of holding positions for a little bit longer. And from a anchored VWAP point of view, we are in value and support on the week. Now, if for whatever reason we do reverse all of this, I do have a potential a cheap long trade set up at 820s, but we'll see if that trades later on today if it does. But going into today, in terms of support, again, just want to see if this 945s to 950s holds. If it does, I think we have continuations above. I would like to see a triple diamond setup, which we haven't yet had. So it will be a case of potentially waiting for some sort of reversal down. Now, this could trade a halfway back down into the overnight midpoint. And maybe we get a same anchor new high after this trade. So, for example, come down to the 50, complete the 62, trade that same anchor new high, which will most likely be close to yearly highs, and then that halfway back will line up with the support that I'm sort of referring to. So you come back down to where we are, and then potentially we go up. And if that doesn't happen, again, brilliant, because I don't take the trade, right? So that my whole trading setup and system is based on if then. So even though we're trading at that level now, you may ask, well, why didn't you go long right now, based on the fact that that's where you'd want to go long anyway? Because I don't know if that's actually where we're going to go, i.e. we're going to go up. What I will know is if we do come down to this 50, then go back up into completions, then I know the market is most likely in a long trade, and therefore pullbacks would be valid in my opinion. So that's what I've been looking at. Pretty much lines up with where we are trading, but again, you've got somewhat confirmation, like this like, you know, we've had the potential bottom and we've had long signals. You just now have to wait for a decent pullback, and hopefully on the open we get a bit of a thrust up to then buy a continuation trade into the rest of the day, and hopefully the trend continues tomorrow. Now, obviously, if I come to the market tomorrow and we've rejected this level, then it'll just be a case of trying to find support down below, which will be pretty much probably coming back down into... I'm not even going to refer to that just yet, because I don't even think those levels are valid just right yet. I think we've got such strong support at 23,800s. I think until those levels get taken out, it's pretty much pointless even discussing them. So let's just trade the price action in front of us and worry about levels when they trade, as opposed to trying to forecast every single scenario that could potentially take place. It's always best just to trade what's in front of us, as opposed to forecasting every single situation that's possible. So that's what I have this morning. Again, those levels are pretty much where we are, but I want to see at least some sort of confirmation up to get a retest down, and that is what I will be going for. So if anyone's got any questions, let me know. But yeah, bit of a slow week, bit of a tricky sort of just letting the market show you its hands. As I've said countless times over the past couple of weeks now, and I hate to continue to say it, but we are still just stuck at that same level that we've been trading at for now 2 months. So I know I've been saying this for a while, but this is why I have these levels on my screen and I talk about them continuously, because again, there's nothing to be shocked or confused about why we've been in this zone for so long, because again, this was that traditional full same anchor new, it's a full negative 100 completion, traded the high to high and completed that full negative 100. That is a super aggressive trade. Therefore, it's very hard to go anywhere now because everyone's been paid. Those that haven't been paid and trying to short aren't going to get an easy handout. Therefore, you just end up going nowhere. So it's kind of expected, and I'm not really super shocked by it. So we just have to try and take what we've got, take what the market gives us, and trade the market we're in, not the market we want to be in. And hopefully range will start increasing once we actually do get some more breakouts. So yeah, consolidations are needed in order to go up, just like it's needed to go down in order to go back up. That's just how the market works. And that is pretty much all I got this morning. So I will jump onto Whoop and do the live stream, and I will see you everyone on YouTube tomorrow for Friday's session. And yeah, hopefully we can end the week on a good note.